Hans, thank you so much for joining us on the first ever KMRE 88.3 FM on-air community pledge drive. I'm wondering, can you tell me a little bit more about yourself and about Edelweiss Dairy?
Yeah, so we started here the farm almost 30 years ago, and our emphasis with dairy farming, and the emphasis was the grazing part in the summer months. Coming from Switzerland and education there in agriculture, I was intrigued already then with the organic way of farming, and I was hoping to do that here too, but there was no market for it yet 30 years ago. So then, so we did kind of farm organically, but sold our milk conventionally. And then 20 years ago, we were able to join Organic Valley, and that's when we became certified organic and went that route then. And so have been doing that now for 20 years. Our farm is about 60 acres, and we milk 150, 180 cows. And those 60 acres are all in pasture. That's what the cows graze on during the summer months. And then they're about 6 months in the winter. They're in the barns, and that's the feed we buy that we feed in the barn then. So it's kind of like the outline of our operation.
Wow. So you were really far ahead of your time then.
Yeah, that's just how I was introduced to in the ag education in Switzerland.
Do you distribute through a bigger company, or do you do independent distributing?
No, we are part of Organic Valley.
Right. So Organic Valley is that like a co-op?
Yeah, that's a co-op that's headquartered in Wisconsin. They started in '88 with 5 or 6 farmers to market the milk organically. And that has grown to about 1,800 organic dairy farmers nationwide. So they are represented in about 35 states, I believe. And wherever there's a pocket of farmers, they find a processing place to process the milk.
How challenging has this way of working been for you?
Not really. One reason was I did already farm somewhat organically. I still used a little bit of reproductive hormones and antibiotics, but not very much. So I just had to find a way organically of treating those cows without antibiotics and hormones. So it's been a fairly easy transition. And it is a little different dairy model than the high producing, high production, high input, high output. So it's a more relaxing environment for me and for all of us here on the farm and for the cattle.
Why do you think it's in the best interest of the community to, think about things like organic dairy farming?
Well, I think it has a very valuable place in a community. If we look at the agriculture landscape across the country, it's dominated by big farms that rely on cheap labor and big equipment and a lot of fossil fuel through fertilizer and machinery. And through that, then those rural communities fall apart. And the smaller organic way is much more in support of communities, especially in rural areas that are smaller, and all the dollars that are earned from the smaller farms are being spent again in the communities versus being moved away from the communities. So that's a big part, I believe, that through small-scale agriculture and that the smaller communities have a chance to survive. And organic is a big part of that, being able to stay smaller because of the value-added product, and through that organic product is not subject to the commodity prices and commodity fluctuation.
For sure. Those people who are interested in organic they are willing to pay more for the product. So have you seen a dramatic decrease in things like your bottom line, or do you think this is a sustainable way for you?
Yeah, it has been sustainable for us. And being part of Organic Valley, and one of their main mission is to provide a stable, sustainable price to the farmers. It has been sustainable to us. And the benefit of being part of a co-op, marketing and distribution co-op, is then the processing and marketing doesn't fall on us. So that's then done through the co-op, and not we have to worry about it. We can just worry about the farm and produce the product, and then the sales and marketing is taken care of. That's quite often a struggle on smaller farms that do their own marketing and distribution and sales, is they have to spread themselves so thinly, and becomes a struggle to balance all those, or carry all those hats, or wearing all those hats that they have to. We don't have that.
Yeah, I can see how that would be a huge cost and labor savings to be part of the co-op that way. How do you see the importance of community media, access to broadcast airwaves, local community radio stations? What role do you see them playing within the struggle of small, local community-centered businesses?
Well, they're very important to a field for smaller local businesses to find a market locally, or make themselves known in the community, and for listeners to be aware of what's around us. Without that, and we quite often don't even have a clue what's going on off the main roads down the lane, what they do or produce or hoping to sell, or what the needs are.
And where's your farm located?
And our farm is between Linden and Everson, right along the Nooksack River.
Right. So the happy cows of Edelweiss Dairy.
Yeah, we're trying to, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for spending a few minutes with us and telling us a little bit about, your visionary approach to dairy. I'll be looking for Organic Valley products in the market now.
Great. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for your time.